It's actually happening following what has been a pretty wild training camp and preseason thus far for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Some new reports and some new comments from Craig Berube has dropped surrounding Easton Cowan, revealing some huge information. And folks, it's actually happening. We're going to break down exactly what's happening, discuss what it means going forward, as well as a few other reports and updates around the Leafs camp. A ton to go over today, but before we get into it all, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Leafs content. Your support's been fantastic, but 71% of you who are watching right now aren't subscribed to the channel. So thank you guys for continuing to support. Darius, another preseason game tonight. And there's going to be a lot to discuss here. The regular season is just a couple weeks away. Things are getting crazy. And Easton Cowan remains at the forefront of all conversations. And you can see this here ahead of tonight's preseason game in about 4.5 hours. He was the first skater on the ice, and he's playing in his third straight game. And Darius, it seems more likely than ever that at least for now, there's a good chance that Easton Cowan breaks camp with the team, the NHL team, because they're giving him tons of opportunities. He looks really good and looked really, really good in his last preseason game. Seems to be doing everything the coach has asked him to do, and maybe there's a world here where after, despite everything that's happened, he finds his way and sneaks his way onto the team.
Yeah, I think there's a real possibility at this point based on everything that Craig Berube said. And he hasn't officially said that he's going to make the team or anything like that. They're taking it step by step and game by game. But one thing that's kind of out of the ordinary is Easton Cowan is going to be playing tonight in his third straight preseason game. Like, many guys don't get that opportunity. So he's going to be playing again. He's been playing in interesting positions. He's been on the power play the last couple of games as well. He's been putting up points, all of those things. And he's been playing with a bunch of different line mates. Tonight, look for Easton Cowan without the puck. I think that this organization and this coaching staff wants to make this player as uncomfortable as possible to see what he does in that situation with that opportunity. So for tonight, watch his line mates and watch his play without the puck, because they've definitely had a conversation with him about his play away from the puck. We know what he can do with the puck, but when you're in the NHL and you're playing on the Toronto Maple Leafs, who's going to have the puck on their stick? It's William Nylander, it's Austin Matt, like a select few guys. And if you're going to be playing in the lineup, you probably won't have the puck on your stick too much. So look for Easton Cowan, what he does without the puck. And we've already seen a little bit of it this preseason and some of the rough stuff, right? So we watched, him with the London Knights, back-to-back Memorial Cup final appearances, one Memorial Cup, two OHL championships. We know what he can do with the puck on his stick. I think Craig Berube is saying, if you want to play in the NHL consistently and put up points, you have to play the right way and you have to play my style of game. So we'll see what he does the rest of the way. We'll see how many opportunities they give him, because they're going to continue to give it to him as well. We'll see if he ends up playing Saturday, but I think there's a real possibility at this point that he can actually make the team, despite a lot of other people and analysts saying it probably won't happen. I think it's right there right now. We'll see how the rest of the preseason goes, but I wouldn't rule it out right now. I do think that, there's obviously a good possibility it starts with the Marlies still, but I would not rule this out. I don't think it's 100% that he's going back to the Marlies right away.
Yeah, you can see here Easton Cowan ready to play, and Craig Berube spoke out about it. He said Cowan's looking sharp. He's got energy. Just watching him out there in some of those battle drills, he's such a competitor. He's a lot stronger than you think. And this is just, Berube doesn't praise people unless he really believes in them. And he's been proving Berube's been obviously complimenting Easton Cowan a ton. And he was asked about the tough question about Easton Cowan making the team straight out of camp. And he said, I can't answer that question. I'd be putting him in a bad spot, us in a bad spot, everybody in a bad spot by saying what he has to do to make the team. Just keep playing. We'll make decisions with time. And that's realistically, they're not going to say right now, so a couple weeks away from the regular season starting. But he's really praising Easton Cowan here. And that's something that, if you want to read between the lines a little bit, praising Easton Cowan. He's been the main one, has been praised. He gets into his third straight game. Either A, they're on the fence about it, or B, they're leaning towards one direction and they want to see a couple different things. And again, I don't think, if they're set on him making the team right now, I don't think one game would change that, bearing, some disastrous, horrible turnovers, things like that. However, it's good to see that, they're putting him on interesting lines as well. You can see here he's on the line with Lorentz and Lawton, which means I don't know if they're going to play him on the fourth line. Maybe they do, and this is a way for them to see how does he look in that fourth line in case we want to use him on that fourth line when the regular season starts. And you see people are finally starting to believe with Berube's comments on Cowan after last night's game. It certainly feels like he might be trending towards an opening night lineup spot, and boy, would I absolutely love that. And it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. And you can also see here from some reporters, I don't think Craig Berube will start him near the top six. He wants him to learn to play away from the puck, like you've been mentioning. And just like this bingo, he's playing with the bottom six. So It's all starting to line up a little bit too good, but still lots of camp left, and rather lots of preseason left, and lots of conversations to be had here. Of course, the big one, what happens with that last line there, Robertson, Camp, Yarncroke. Interesting, they're playing together. A couple of those guys, I imagine, won't be on the team by the start of the regular season, or at least in the opening night lineup.
Yeah, and there's been some reports about Nick Robertson and his future too. So we're going to keep a a close eye on that as the season comes closer and closer to starting. But if you look at the lines, I think that's a good point that you bring up, Nick. That maybe you could look at it like, okay, maybe they want him to make the team, or they're going to give him that opportunity, and it's going to be on the fourth line. You could look at it that way, that's for sure. And other analysts and reporters are saying maybe the same thing. He's not going to play in the top six. I don't think he would anyway. Even if he made the team, it would be like the third line or the fourth line. To me, if he's going to make the team and you're going to put him on the fourth line, send them down to the Marlies, have him play top line minutes, have him play in the top six with the Marlies and continue to develop. It makes no sense to have him on the fourth line of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The way I read these lines is obviously it's an away game. It's in Montreal. You're going to play your big guns at home in the preseason. That's the way it usually works for most teams. So you had a feeling that, a lot of the top guys weren't going to play in this game, but it's like, hey, you're Easton Cowan. You have a shot at making the team. We're going to put you in your third straight game, and you're going to be playing with Lawton and Lorentz. Let's see what you can do, because we know what Lawton and Lorentz bring to the table already. They've kind of plateaued at this point in their NHL careers. They are what they are, and they're great role players. I'm not taking anything away from them. But what can you do on that line? Are you going to rise above? These are guys that might be able to go get you the puck, are going to play physical. How do you look in that style of game? So I think that's more of what this is. For him to make the team and he's going to be on the fourth line makes no sense. He should play top six with the Toronto Marlies at that point, if he's not going to at least be on the third line of the Toronto Maple Leafs. But what I think this is you've looked really good so far. You're listening to everything we're saying. We're going to give you another game. How do you look with these two guys? And again, no disrespect to the other two guys, but it's not like you're playing with Austin Matthews or anything, right? So how does he look with those two guys? And I do wonder if he still gets some power play time too, because you do want to see what he does with the puck as well, not just away from the puck. But I think that's the biggest question mark now at this level. What can you do away from the puck and with teammates that are not highly skilled?
Yeah, and there is some reporters saying that, I don't think it's great on the chances that Easton Cowan will be in the opening night lineup for the Leafs. So it's like they do have a lot of players, and maybe there's a chance, and there definitely is. If you look at these lines, if Easton Cowan plays really well, that might force their hand into a Nick Robertson trade, a David Kemp move, a Yarncroke move, or something of that nature. They've obviously been trying to do it, but if they think and they agree internally that Easton Cowan's the guy going forward for this team, they still have tons of depth, even if they get rid of one or even two of these guys with the way that their team is built, the way the Marlies are looking. It is pretty wild. And you look at all the things that he's done, whether that's being, physical, chirping the Senators, all these different things in the couple games that he's played. He looks like an NHLer way more than he did last year. He looks more like the, player we saw the year before, funny enough, because last year, camp in his head a little bit, whatever it was. He looks like the future player and future star that we know he can be. We'll keep you up to date every step of the way. Let us know down below what your thoughts are on all of this. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later.